Hi, and are you? It's Teknikolour. I have another speed build for you today. This time we are going back to San Myshuno and back to Jasmine Suites because I decided to renovate to be Jasmine Suites from the City Living expansion pack. Let's check it out. So last week we built 2A Jasmine Suites in San Myshuno, and today we are building 2B Jasmine Suites, the only other apartment on that floor, and I really like the way that this one turned out. So if you've been following for the last couple of videos, I have been building a bunch of City Living apartments, primarily for my Legacy Challenge. The first apartment that I built was actually the apartment that my sim was living in, Gemma Wyndham. However, she didn't actually get to live in that one because she had to live in like a rundown version. And then I posted the actual apartment that she moved into. So at this point, Gemma Wyndham has gotten married. She has gotten pregnant. She has had the baby, Jet Wyndham, and we are going to be following how things progress within City Living and then in Jet's reign once we get to that point. But right now we're still following Gemma, and the point is in this Legacy Challenge for this generation that we want Gemma Wyndham, now that she's had a kid, she's gotten married, and she's lived in her second apartment, which is a little bit nicer than the first one. We want her to make enough money that she can then live in a penthouse in San Myshuno. So we're going to be working towards that. And I do stream this every Tuesday and Thursday morning over on my Twitch channel. Just if you're interested, little shameless plug. We would love to see you in chat. But I decided I wanted to build a bunch for San Myshuno. So I did that apartment. Last week we did 2A, which is the apartment that Gemma is living in now. And I noticed that Gemma has a neighbor who is elderly, and she's kind of just always in the hallway, just always checking the mail or looking at that bulletin board or standing at the trash chute for a really long time because it's kind of close to Gemma's apartment. And I kind of felt bad, so I wanted to give her a little bit of a backstory. She's probably not going to end up lasting that much longer, but I wanted to give her this apartment, and I just wanted to like fully refresh it. I'm giving her a backstory as if she has gone on all of these adventures. She has been well traveled. She has lived a very exciting life. Her home is a little bit dated, but also not at the same time. And she just loves living in the city, and she's excited to have a new neighbor who has a new baby. I just feel like that's the story of this neighbor, who I'm realizing now, I don't even know her name. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to have a place for her. I wanted to be excited about it. And when I was building this, I had the best time. If you can believe it or not, this build took me about 2.5 hours, which if you've been following around for a while, that is absolutely nothing. Usually I take a very long time to build. Of course, if I'm not building a house and it's just kind of like an apartment that already exists in a building, it's not going to take quite as long. But even the apartments that I've done for Gemma, the one that she was never going to live in, and then the one that she ended up moving into, they took a lot longer than this. This one came together so easily, and it is, I don't know, it's kind of like, I would probably have this as a dream apartment. I think that the kitchen and the living area and the dining area is very small, but that's very New York City. This feels very similar to buildings that I've looked at as well as my own. I love that then there is the primary bedroom, there's a little bathroom, and then there's also a guest room. And I kind of take it as if she had kids at some point, and now maybe she has grandkids, and everything is just like set up for them if they want to come and visit. I don't know. I just kind of adore this. I also have memories from when I would visit my grandmother in her apartment. My brother and I would end up staying over, and I don't know, it was just really cute. It was just really cute. I wanted to have an apartment that fit this sim that I just decided to make a backstory for. And who knows? We are probably not going to see much of this sim. We have actually started being pretty friendly to her because I felt bad that she was just always hanging out in the hallway. And so we have a tiny bit of a friendship now, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe we'll get to know her more. Maybe she won't last very long. Who knows? I am technically a spellcaster, Gemma. She is a spellcaster. So we could potentially let this woman live a little bit longer if we wanted to. I don't know. I don't know. Can I just say though, this living room that I've built, I knew that I wanted it to look a little bit dated. So I knew that I needed to use the cats and dogs curtains that I never use. I feel like there's almost no point when these curtains make sense to be used unless it's like an older Sims home. Does that make sense? I feel like they're really cute. They totally work, and they did a really good job on these curtains, the Sims team, but I just feel like in actuality, they just look really dated, and I feel like most builds that I'm making at least don't use those, but I think they work so well here. I feel like they just look as if they would fit in this Sims home. So I just really like them. I'm gonna be honest, I look at the first watch of these curtains and I am never really impressed, and I usually don't look that much into them. However, with these, I found this watch and I was like, perfect, I'm running with it. You can also see there was a point when I was actually considering putting cracks in the walls, maybe giving some mold to this poor woman, and then I decided it just wasn't going to work out. It didn't look good. It felt out of place, so I decided to remove them, but I don't know. I kind of want to do that in a future apartment. Are y'all apartmented out though? I don't know if maybe I'm building too many apartments. We'll have to see. I've really enjoyed building in San Myshuno, and I've never really built apartments before, like within San Myshuno, that were not something that I built from scratch, like the entire building. So I have been thoroughly enjoying myself. So we might see a few more apartments, but if you hate them, let me know, and maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I'll change my mind. I also knew that I needed to use that growing together mirror. I feel like I want to use this mirror all the time, and I never know the best way to use it. But I feel like with the molding on this wall, like the bottom molding, what is that? Chair molding? Chair railing? I don't really know. But that worked so well with that. And I was just very pleased that I was able to use it. I was actually going to end up using it at the end of the hall. It just felt weird there. So I don't know if it looked strange kind of in the living dining area, but I liked it. I liked it. I feel like maybe that came with the apartment and she decided to keep it. Maybe that helped her decide how she was going to decorate. Who knows? Who knows? But I really like the way that this turned out. I also knew that I wanted to have some areas where there was a bunch of plants, and I wanted it to sort of have the same color scheme, which I don't normally do. I try to like weave in some color here and there, but I tried to stick to a color palette as much as I could with this build. And I think it all came together really nicely. I'm also really, really pleased with the entrance area, like that little foyer hallway thing, because I wanted there to be a place that she could like very quickly sit down and put on her shoes, but also there's like a drop-off point for any mail, or to like check yourself out in a mirror like before you leave. There's this bookcase spot that she can just drop her mail on. Like there's this little area that's kind of like a drop-off space. I knew that I wanted to use some sort of record player, and I almost used that very old vintage record player, and I just felt like it just didn't fit in with the style of the apartment. So I am using the one from Party Essentials again, I know, but I think it just looks so good. I am so impressed with that kit, the Party Essentials kit. I don't know that I'll use every single item from that kit a lot, but I use that kit so often. So if you're thinking about getting one of those kits, I highly suggest it. Also, just another shameless plug, I do believe that the sale is going to be ending soon if it hasn't already, but if you're considering buying any Sims 4 DLC, if you wouldn't mind, I do have a creator code out now. It's unfortunately not a discount code, but if you use my code Teknikolour, you can help support me and my content. So a portion of the proceeds from any purchase that you make with a creator code, it doesn't have to be mine, it could be any creator that you support, but I do recommend that you use any creators, because a portion of the proceeds that EA would make from that purchase goes towards a creator that you love. So if I'm one of those creators, I would be so honored if you used my code, but I just hope you use somebody's code. I also knew that for this Sims bedroom, I wanted it to showcase that she's been well traveled, but also that she doesn't have like a lot of furniture. She's not like somebody who's going to be like cluttering up her apartment, but there's also going to be indicators that she has traveled a lot and she has a lot of things that she has acquired over her lifespan. And I knew that I had to do that in a way that felt like it would work in a city apartment. It wasn't going to be too cluttered. It wasn't going to be like a lot of trinkets everywhere, but I wanted it to showcase that she's got some things that she appreciates from her travels and from living in the city. And she displays those in a way that is sort of minimalistic, but not like over dramatic either. I don't know the best way to explain what I'm trying to say, but that's basically the vibes. Actually, I also decided that in the second bedroom, which is a guest room, so I'm kind of taking it as a place for maybe her kids could come visit or her grandkids. And she also has like a little office in there. Maybe she likes to do some writing. Maybe she likes to play The Sims, who knows? So she's got a little laptop, and she also has some artwork that kind of just shows that she has been well traveled, and she just has like this very interesting story, this nice old lady, and I am just in love with the way this apartment turned out. Usually I like to decorate with a lot more color and maybe even like wallpaper that is not as like basic as this. Not to say that this is basic, but I like the way that this one turned out. I feel like all of the colors really mesh well together. I feel like even the bathroom looks really good together. I actually cut it out of this. I was considering giving her a cat, but then I just felt like it would be like too much. And she was already lonely. I felt like it would be weird to give her the cat. Like it's so like stereotypical, like old lady with a cat. So I decided against it. I also really wanted to try really hard to have like an area in the bathroom where there was like kind of like an L shape for the counters and the sink would be in the corner. I just felt like it would be perfect for this bathroom and for like a city bathroom in general. I just couldn't figure out how to make it work. I don't know if there are people who have made this work. They know how to do it. If you know how, let me know. Do I gotta tool things into place? I just really wanted that and it did not work. I did want it to be functional in case people want to live in this apartment. And I don't know, I even put the dentures down. I went all in for this lady. I went all in. So we ended up using just like a counter for the sink and then like the little half counter next to it, and gave her a little bit of space there. She's not got much. She's got her hamper like shoved in there as well. She is maximizing the space in this apartment. I would also like to live in this one. Is that bad? I don't know. I don't normally go for apartments like this, especially like more dated looking ones. And I don't know. This one just does it for me. Again, though, if you are interested in following my Twitch, if you want to see live Sims gameplay and occasional building, I do stream on Twitch pretty much every single day, but I do the Sims every Tuesday and Thursday morning, at least if you're on the East Coast. And my link will be down below if you're interested. But this is for my legacy challenge. And we are focused on city living right now. And we're kind of in the early days of it. So if you want to check it out, I highly recommend it. It's like the perfect time to jump in. But we're nearing the end of the build right now. So why don't we pop into the game and I can give you a little bit of a tour. Here is the Jasmine Suites building. And of course, here on the left where we can't see is Gemma Wyndham's apartment. But if you would like to check out last week's video, you can see the speed build of that. We have a living area, little dining table. We've got her kitchen. the entrance area. Down this little hallway is the entrance to her primary bedroom. We have the bathroom over here, and then we have a little guest room, which is set up for maybe her grandkids, and it's a little office. And that is the whole apartment. I just love the way that this one turned out. If you would like to see more content like this, please consider liking and subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. But thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye bye.